Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Daily Cafe Chat. It is Monday, March 16th, 2026. Happy New Week!
Happy Monday! I actually had a great weekend. Did you do anything fun?
I went to a museum, which connects perfectly to our first story today, actually.
Love it when that happens. So, what is on the menu this morning?
First, Italy just spent $35 million on a single painting. Then, Honda made a huge decision about electric cars. And finally, Universal Studios put some very famous movie cars on display.
Cars from movies? Which movie?
Fast and Furious, but we will get to that.
If you are new here, welcome. We chat about real news every day in natural English, great for listening practice and shadowing. Subscribe and come back tomorrow.
Today's keyword is heritage.
Heritage. What does that mean exactly?
Heritage refers to things passed down through generations, like traditions, buildings, or, in today's case, artwork. A country's cultural heritage is its history preserved in physical form.
So, when Italy buys a famous painting, they are protecting their heritage.
Exactly right. Keep that word in mind today. So, Italy's government just bought a painting by Caravaggio for about $35 million. That's roughly 30 million euros.
35 million for one painting? That is a lot of money.
It is. But this is not just any painting. Caravaggio is one of the most important painters in history. He basically invented a new way of using light and shadow that changed art forever.
Okay, so who is in the painting?
It shows a man named Maffeo Barberini, painted around 1598. At the time, he was a young church official in his 30s, but he later became Pope Urban VIII. So Caravaggio painted a future pope before he was pope? That is wild, right? The painting was in a private collection for centuries. Italy negotiated for over a year to buy it. Where will they put it? At Palazzo Barberini in Rome, which is named after the same family, so the painting is going home, in a way. That is actually really poetic. The painting returns to the family's palace, and it will be displayed next to another Caravaggio masterpiece called Judith Slaying Holofernes. So Rome is building quite the Caravaggio collection. But $35 million? Is that normal for art? For Caravaggio, yes. There are very few confirmed paintings by him in existence. Some experts think fewer than 70 survive, so each one is extremely valuable.
Fewer than 70?
For someone that famous, I would have guessed hundreds. He died young, at 38, and lived a pretty chaotic life. But the culture minister called this purchase essential for protecting Italy's cultural heritage.
Heritage! There's our keyword.
The minister also said they recently bought another masterpiece by Antoniello da Messina, so Italy is really investing in bringing its art treasures into public collections.
I love that. Art belongs in museums where everyone can enjoy it, not locked away in someone's private living room.
Well said. And now millions of visitors to Rome can see this painting up close.
I actually want to go see it when I visit Rome.
Same. Palazzo Barberini is already one of the best museums in Rome. This just makes it even more worth visiting.
Added to my travel list for sure.
Our second story is a big one for the car industry. Honda just canceled 3 electric vehicles that were almost ready for production.
Wait, they were that close? What happened?
The Honda Zero SUV, the Honda Zero sedan, and the ACR RSX were all set to be built at Honda's new EV facility in Ohio. They showed them off at CES last year in near production form.
So, billions of dollars in investment, and now they're just pulling the plug?
Pretty much. The CEO said EV demand in the U.S. has slowed down because of policy changes. The government removed EV tax credits and eased fossil fuel regulations. That is a massive shift. People were getting thousands of dollars back when they bought an electric car. Without that incentive, fewer people are making the switch, and the tariff situation made things even worse. What about China? They had plans there too, right? They did, but Honda admitted they could not compete with Chinese EV makers. Companies like BYD produce cars faster and cheaper because they build everything with software-first design. So Honda's basically retreating from the EV market. Not completely. They said they will redirect resources toward next-generation hybrid vehicles, so part electric, part gasoline. Hybrids as a bridge technology. That actually makes sense for a lot of consumers who are not ready for full electric. But here's the really tough part. This restructuring could cost Honda up to 2.5 trillion yen. That's about $16 billion. They might lose money this year for the first time since going public in 1957. 1957? Honda's been profitable every single year for almost 70 years? Yes. Until now, yes. The CEO and other executives are also cutting their own pay, 30% for 3 months. That shows accountability, at least. But Honda is not alone in this, right? No, Hyundai, Kia, Volkswagen, Ford, even Porsche have all pulled back from US EV plans recently. So it's an industry-wide trend. The question is whether this is a pause or a permanent shift. Honda said they will share a detailed long-term strategy in May, so we'll have to wait and see. Do you think hybrids are the right move? For now, I think so. Not everyone has access to charging stations. Hybrids solve that problem. Fair point. A hybrid works even if you live in an apartment without a charger. Exactly. Practicality wins in the real world. All right, let us end on something fun. Universal Studios Hollywood just added some very cool cars outside their new roller coaster.
Which roller coaster?
Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. It is a brand new coaster opening this summer. The cars on the ride actually spin to simulate drifting.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Like you are actually in a chase.
Exactly. And now they have put 2 real cars from the movies right outside the ride entrance.
Which cars?
One is a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR in silver and blue. That one appeared in the 2003 sequel, Too Fast, Too Furious.
I love that car. The Skyline is legendary in the car world.
The other one is a black 1970 Dodge Charger from the very first movie back in 2001.
The original Dom Toretto car. That is so iconic. Vin Diesel drove that in chase scenes.
They have stanchions around them so you cannot touch them, but you can get pretty close for photos.
I mean, those are movie props worth probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. Better not let anyone sit in them.
Good point. The roller coaster has been testing recently, too. People have spotted ride vehicles going around the track.
So it's almost ready. When exactly does it open?
This summer, no exact date yet, but they are also building the same ride at Universal Studios Florida to replace the old Hollywood Rip Ride rocket.
2 versions of the same ride? They must be really confident in it.
The Fast and Furious franchise has made billions at the box office. It makes sense to give it a major attraction.
True. We should plan a trip when it opens.
Deal. I call shotgun.
In a spinning car? Good luck with that.
Good point. You can have the front seat in a drift car.
I wonder if they'll add more movie cars later. Maybe the Toyota Supra from the original?
That would be amazing. Brian O'Connor Supra is probably the most requested car by fans. So today, we learned that Italy invested $35 million to bring a Caravaggio painting home to Rome. Art and heritage. Money well spent, in my opinion. Honda canceled 3 electric vehicles and is shifting toward hybrids as the EV market cools down. Tough times for the EV industry right now, but hybrids might be the smart play. And Universal Studios Hollywood put actual Fast and Furious movie cars on display. I need to see those cars in person and ride that coaster. Today's keyword was heritage, the things passed down through generations. Italy's purchase of the Caravaggio is about preserving cultural heritage for everyone to enjoy. And speaking of heritage, my grandma passed down her love of cars to me, so the Fast and Furious story was extra special. That is wholesome. Here's today's question. If you could own any famous painting, which one would you pick? Tell us in the comments. We always love hearing your answers. If you enjoyed today's chat, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We will be back tomorrow with more stories. Have a great Monday, everyone. Start the week strong. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.